It is 1230 WBVP and 1460 WNBA and 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM, and it's 37 degrees, and Kaitlyn is here. Now we are completely caught up. You're already saying hi. You're one of those, like, pathologically upbeat people, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I can see it. All right, Kaitlyn Karczewski. Karczewski. I got it right before. You are with Old Economy Village. I'm going to get to why we're talking to you in a second. First, let people know what you do. You've been on the show before. You've never been in person. Mm-hmm. So this is a chance to live feed this. This is on Facebook right now.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. And explain to people what you do at Old Economy Village in Ambridge.
Okay. I am the marketing person at Old Economy Village. So when you see the social media posts, that's normally me. I am online chronically at work. I also help run the museum gift shop as well as handle rentals. I kind of do a little bit of everything there.
So basically whatever needs done, that's one of your gigs.
Yes.
What was your background in school?
Public relations.
All right.
So it does translate well with being able to be online and do marketing as well as being able to talk to people all the time while I'm there.
It's cool that you've got the PR background, but how much more do you enjoy your job because you're doing public relations for something that, in talking to you, you obviously dig where you work?
It's awesome. I mean, when you go to school and you spend all that money to get a degree, you want to use what you got. And it was really awesome being able to get a job in a field where I am making a difference for a tiny nonprofit museum. And I can see that in the way I interact with people when I draw people in with the social media or marketing is kind of a really rewarding.
Ever any thoughts about moving on up to bigger nonprofits? Because you said yourself, it's absolutely spectacular for people that don't know what Old Economy Village in Ambridge is, mm-hmm. but it is a small hand to mouth, basically, with mm-hmm. money.
Yep.
Yeah. Does that make you happiest, or do you thinking, oh, this is so great, I want to do it on a bigger scale?
I don't mind the smaller scale. I think with the smaller scale, you have a more tight-knit group at work, so we are desperately relying on each other to get things done. I think that brings people together more. Not that I wouldn't be against working at a big nonprofit, but I like being able to interact with every single person while I'm there.
All right, how much interacting is going on right now? Because there's a new event, it's December 3rd and 4th.
Mm-hmm, Christmas at the Village.
Okay.
There's a lot of interacting going on as we are going down. We're in the crunch time now, so.
People don't know what Christmas in the Village is. Tell them what it is.
So Christmas at the Village is a 2-day festival. It's in the evening. So on Saturday, December 3rd, it's 2 to 9. And on December 4th, on Sunday, it's 2 to 7. So we have vendors in our big feast hall building. We have music. So local choirs will be caroling through the village throughout the weekend. We have food. We have several demonstrators showing 18th century trades all weekend long. And it's in the evening, so as it gets dark, we will light up our candlelit lanterns to line the walkways, and it's actually truly magical.
How many years has, because I know this isn't the first year for Christmas at the Village.
Many. I am not sure. Way before my time, they started doing it, so.
Talk about the logistics. It's 2 days, but mm-hmm. you're talking about having people there playing with fire and blacksmith. I mean, there's a whole lot of logistics. How much of that falls on you?
A decent portion. I have to make sure, we're completely advertised for the events. We're drawing attention on top of making sure vendors move in, because I do handle all the vendors. So I have to handle vendor move in, make sure they're in, ready to go, they're okay. And on top of that, like helping volunteers like in their places, make sure they're okay and where they're at. It's a lot for a small group of people to handle. As
energetic as you obviously are at the end, and no, I mean that as a compliment. I am absolutely envious of people like you that mm-hmm. visibly, audibly, you're energized by what you do. Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful, wonderful way to live your life. At the end of those 2 days, at the end of the 4th, mm-hmm. how long does it take to sit down and take in the deep air and recharge before the next event?
It takes a while. That night, I zonk out. I'm done. Once I get home, I'm asleep. I need a couple days to reset, but.
What's the next event after Christmas at the Village?
We'll have our Christmas dinner event, which is our big fundraising event of the year, and then our last event will be Meet Belsnickel, which is like meat free this year. It's on
Meet who? That's German Santa, isn't it?
Yes, that's the grumpy fur-clad Santa Claus.
Now, what's the difference between Belschnickel and Krampus?
Um, they kind of go
How
hand.
much they've been drinking?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Krampus eats the naughty children. Belsnickel, in the
Ju-
lore, simply
just-
beats the
Just
children.
wails on them.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a difference.
Merry Christmas. Are you to be eaten or just wailed on today? Oh, good point.
Exactly.
Caitlin is with me from Old Economy Village. Um, Tell people, you mentioned the Christmas dinner and that's your big fundraiser.
Mhm.
Can people get involved in that, or is that already a booked event?
It's in the works. We're finalizing our menu, but it's usually by invitation to our members,
Okay.
and then whatever we have left over, we offer to the public. It is a fancier dinner, so you get a dinner, you get wine, appetizers. We will have entertainment, and then we'll have an auction during that time as well.
How much money does it cost to keep Old Economy Village running from one year to the next? I see events there all the time, and I think, okay, somebody's got to be paying somebody for that.
I'm not entirely sure. I know
Money.
it's money, but a lot of it comes from fundraising. Honestly, fundraising makes the biggest difference for us. Like donors, would not be able to do what we do without donors and without volunteers.
How much more difficult has fundraising been over the last couple of years because of COVID? You couldn't get people together for a big
Yeah.
Christmas fundraiser dinner.
It was hard.
Yeah?
It's hard. You're trying to make a lot happen with very little, and to a lot of our donors have been really great in the last 2 years since the pandemic giving money. So
Mhm.
it's as sucky as the pandemic has been. It was wonderful to see people come together for something that they love. They love Old Economy Village, so they were willing to give when we asked.
Did you know how much Old Economy Village was woven into the fabric of Ambridge before you started working there?
I didn't know. So my first instance with Old Economy Village was when I was in high school in a choir, and we went there one year.
You're one of those buses.
Yep, I'm one of those buses.
For the people that don't live in Ambridge, here's how you know spring is happening. You look up, and on Church Street in front of Old Economy Village, suddenly one day there's 35 school buses. So that was your first introduction.
Yeah, so I was in high school, and then when I interviewed for the job after college, I kind of briefly looked at the website, kind of tried to learn a little bit general information. It wasn't until I really got in and started learning the history I realized how important Ambridge and Old Economy was, and how important the Harmonists were to basically the economic area of Beaver Falls and Beaver County area.
It created two things made Ambridge,
Mm-hmm.
the Harmonists and U.S. Steel.
Yep.
Or American Bridge,
Yeah, the
which
American
was
Bridge.
U.S. Steel. I have a weird question, and you might be the person to answer.
Okay.
The cemetery
Mm-hmm.
at the corner of Church and, 11th?
Yes.
Next to the library.
Yep.
It's my understanding that cemetery only has 3 people in it because the Harmonists didn't believe in burials. The 3 people that were buried there worked for the Harmonists, but they weren't Harmonists. Am I right so far?
Kind of. So the
Okay.
Harmonists are buried there.
Oh, they
So-
are.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the Harmonists believed that you were basically the same in life as in death,
Right.
anonymous. So everyone who was a Harmonist was buried without a headstone, except for George Rapp's biological son. His headstone's in Harmony, PA, in that cemetery. We don't know why, because he got the headstone. But anyone who was a Harmonist or part of the Harmonist Society did not get a headstone.
But they just put them in the ground.
They just put them in the ground.
So there's more than 3 bodies in that corner.
Yes, they did. Several years ago, they had Pitt students come out and do ground penetrating radar to kind of see where everyone was, and there's quite a few coffins in there.
Are Well, my question was going to be, can we not move the fence back if there's room? But is there not room? Because you've tried to make that turn during rush hour with cars parked on both sides of the street.
Yeah, it's rough there in that
Okay.
corner.
Wow.
But also, not all the bodies are there. So some of them are kind of under the street. The cemetery was much larger than.
Wait,
it
there's
is now.
bodies under Church Avenue,
Mhm.
Church Street?
Yeah, the cemetery was a much bigger space. So as the
So they
development
just
happened-
paved over it.
basically.
Well, I feel because when you desecrate graves, I mean, we all saw those movies, right?
Oh yeah, we did the exact thing you're not supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, okay, what's a few more feet for a throughway?
Yeah.
What should I have asked you about? Tell people about how they can go to the Christmas at the Village. It's the 3rd and the 4th.
Mhm.
The website is oldeconomyvillage.org,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
Is the information about Christmas
Yes.
on there?
Under our events tab on our website, there is more information about it there. Basically, all you do on December 3rd and 4th is show up at the Feast Hall building. We will have a mission down
At the what?
Feast Hall building. That is our biggest historic building on site. That's kind of where you're going to show up. We'll have an admissions tent outside. You can pay for cash there or pay with credit card inside the gift shop, and then you are free to go and explore the site as you see fit.
And raise money for an absolutely amazing cause. It's literally, I don't want to say history under our feet, but you did.
Yeah, it really is history under our feet. And a lot of people don't realize that we're there, which is so crazy to me. But
no, I didn't until I moved to Ambridge. I knew nothing about Old Economy Village. I would drive by and see it, and I think, oh, maybe it's a wedding venue or something like that. Far more historic than that.
Yeah, there's so much wonderful and amazing history there that people don't realize is available for them.
Do you think that's true of a lot of towns? I mean, your background is PR, but you're immersed in history. Do you think, like you just said, you didn't know that was there?
I think that is true for most houses. Heck, even Disney World, the neighbors there don't always go. They're like, oh, it's always going to be there. I'll visit at some point. So it's no different in any small town with a small museum. People in the area are like, oh, it's always going to be there, and they don't go out of their little circle to explore what's around them. They always think of faraway places.
Kaitlyn, has history become a bigger deal to you since you started working there?
Yes.
Okay. Was history something you were interested in before? PR is a good job to go out, but that can lead you to a job doing PR for anything.
Yeah. I mean, my dad was really big in history, so I kind of grew up with that influence for most part. And then, I don't know, after getting into this job, it became way more. With history, you're so separated from it. Like where I am in my life, I can't always relate to people of the past. And I think for a lot of folks, that's hard because history, you're so far removed from that. You're in the present. Whereas when I'm working at a museum, I'm face to face with history all the time. And you kind of.
Why do you think we're removed from it? Because it's not something that's on our phone? I mean, I'm not being sarcastic.
I think it's because it's not happening to us. It's not happening in our lifetime. So why should we care? And I think that's the attitude a lot of people carry when it comes to history.
Do you recognize history repeats itself more now that you've been around it?
Absolutely.
And you're capable of seeing that in the daily occurrences?
Absolutely. I mean, I got really into the Salem witch trials for a while. I had a whole phase where I was like, I'm reading about it. And it's amazing to me how that same idea of, oh, this person's different, so I want to eliminate them, has repeated itself throughout history. And
she didn't float.
No, she didn't float.
No, she didn't float.
And I see it now more than ever. It makes you wonder why we don't focus on history more. We should be preventing these things from repeating, but people aren't interested in learning about.
And they just repeat under a different heading.
Yes, every time.
What should I have asked you that I didn't ask you?
Oh boy,
been a wonderful guest, Kaitlyn Karczewski.
Karczewski.
I'm never going to get it. Karczewski. Her name is Kaitlyn, and she is the PR director for Old Economy Village in Ambridge. That part I got right.
You did.
What should I have asked you that I didn't?
Not sure, honestly. I mean, how people can support us is a good one.
What? Tell them.
One of the best ways you can support us, other than visiting us and spending time with us, is also volunteering your time. We do need volunteers. The way our events run is heavily volunteer-based.
I love the bonnet ladies.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, if you look out and there's a tour going on, it's one of the bonnets. She's got on a bonnet. She's dressed in period correct costume, giving the tours. Those are all volunteers?
We do have a couple paid docents that do give tours, but we do have to fill in volunteers time again because paid people have to take breaks or they miss work. And we need to fill in with volunteers who can give tours and volunteers that can help run events, run admissions, help us fold envelopes and letters, and we send them out for appeals. We need help in every single area, and I think the most important way to support us is donating your time because time is the most precious currency.
We're going to end with that because that's brilliant. That's after a discussion about history. It's a wonderful way. Tell people how they can get in touch with Old Economy Village.
You can check out our website. You can call us at 724-266-4500 and leave a message, and we will get back to you.
And it's Kaitlyn Karczewski.
That is correct.
I got it right. We're stopping now. I ain't going to go through that again. You'll come back and visit us again?
Of course I will, whenever you want me to.
The 3rd and the 4th, it's Christmas at the Village. It's Old Economy Village in Ambridge, and it is a special place that you probably don't even know about unless you were one of those bust in at the end of the school year kids.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and